Hi friends, welcome back to Coffee and Cocktails. On this channel, I like to talk about budgeting, personal finance, planning, and productivity. I'm working to pay off debt, invest wisely for my future, and put myself in a better financial position. If that sounds like something you'd like, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into today's video. Hi everyone! Today we're going to go through the June budget wrap up. It is currently the end of July, so I'm a little late in doing this, but I still think it's very important to always look back at the prior month and your prior spending and saving just to see where things are, and so that way you know if you need to adjust for the future. So we'll get right into it. So we're looking at June. And right up at the top, I first like to go through my monthly reminders and to-dos and make sure I've checked off everything, which I did. So I had 2 items listed. One was that I had a work trip for 2 weeks. That was completed. And then I also had a software renewal for an annual subscription. And that actually came out as well. I forgot to put in my top 3 goals. So I'm not going to do it now because it just doesn't make sense to do it now. But going down to achievements, I did start building up my sinking funds, and I funded half of my August rent. And that is because I actually had, in May, I had 3 paychecks, and so I used that extra paycheck to fund half of my rent so I decided to change things up. So now each paycheck, I save half of my rent from each paycheck. And so with that extra paycheck, it got me a little bit ahead. And so then this month for June, for the paychecks I received, I was able to then fund half of August's rent. So I hope that makes sense. It's kind of confusing. Sometimes I still get confused, but basically I'm like 1 paycheck ahead on rent. Okay, so we'll go right down into the cash flow summary, just kind of general overview. So income, I budgeted $18,000. $19,000 is what came in, and that is mostly because in June I get an annual bonus. And so that came in. Bills, I budgeted $10,400. $10,400 went out, so pretty much right on track there. Expenses, pretty much on track. I was under by $12 or $11.45, so not bad. Savings. Okay, so actually savings was good. I budgeted to save $37.90. I actually ended up saving $56.28. So that's almost 150% of what I budgeted. So I'm trying to remember what that was. We'll take a look at that. Investments. I budgeted to invest $3,000. $3,055 went in. And debt, I budgeted $226 because I was going to take an extra $100 over my minimum payment and put to my debt, but I ended up not doing that. So you can see the actual ended up being $126.53, which is my minimum payments on my student loans. So now we'll get into the details. Let me zoom in a little bit. Getting straight into the details, we'll start out with the income. This is my favorite section to look at, is the income. So I had rolled over $46.75 from the prior month, so from May. So that is that first line. Then again, my bonus, I was expecting about $11,000. I ended up getting about $12,790. So that's good. That was nice. Then I had my 2 paychecks. And this paycheck number 1 was actually less than I expected. And that's because I forgot that every year my 401k is set to increase 1% contribution, and that kicked in the first paycheck of June. And so normally I do 9%, but because that extra 1% kicked in, it was 10%. And so I did back that back down with my second paycheck, just because right now it's not a big difference. As you can see, it's 39 versus 72, so it's not a huge difference. But right now, I just want to stick to the 9% contribution and utilize that extra, $30, $40 to make progress on other goals. So then going down to interest, I budgeted to get $11 interest. I ended up getting $25.71. Most of this comes from my Marcus by Goldman Sachs high yield savings account. it is an online bank account. I really like it. Right now it is 4.40% interest. And then if you do decide to sign up, there is a referral link down below. If you sign up using somebody's referral, I believe they just changed it. You used to get like 1% for 3 months, but they changed it to be some sort of cash bonus. So I'm not exactly sure how that works yet, but they just rolled that out in July. But there is still a referral bonus. So if you do use somebody's link to sign up for it, you do get an extra little something on top. But I like this account. I've had it for, I think, 2 years now, and I really like it. 401k contributions. So I include my 401k and my employer 401k contributions in my income summary because that is income that I am receiving. It's just not income I can use currently, but I like to include it here so that way I can also track it down in my investment section. And so I have a running total of what I'm investing as well. And so with that 1% increase, I ended up doing, my contribution was $9.53 and my employer contribution stayed the same, which is 6% match, so that's $602. So overall between those two, $1,555.95 went into my 401k this month. Miscellaneous, this $1,870 is because I returned a dress. So I had purchased a dress for my vacation that I took in April, and so I purchased it I think in March from Old Navy. I ended up not wearing it. It ended up being way too big, and they did not have a smaller size, so I returned it. Luckily they took it back, so that was nice, even though it's been a few months. So I just put it back in here as miscellaneous. And then recycling was $7. So I live in California, and we do have a deposit fee on any bottles, cans, glass bottles. And so we have to turn in our recycling, and then when you turn it in, you get basically the deposit back. And so I got $7 back from recycling. Credit card rewards, I ended up getting $7.39 from rewards. Don't remember what credit card it was. Let's take a look. So it was for Chase. I had 10% cash back on a Vineyard Vines purchase. So I got $7.39 back from that. Then going down here, I had $80.40 for reimbursements. This was related to my work trip. So the 2-week work trip that I took, I had to drive there, and it's about, I think it was about, I don't know, 70 to 80 miles. No, I don't remember how far it is, but it's like a couple hours. And so you get a certain amount back per mile from my employer. So I got back $80.40 for the first week. And then I have the second week mileage reimbursement that I actually got in July. So for June, it was just the 1 week of mileage reimbursement of $80. And then I rolled over $5,383 to July. So out of this income, I ended up rolling over a good portion, some of it to July and some of it to August. But we'll see that more once we get into July and August. And so then next, we'll go through the bills. So first I want to look up here, budget versus actual income. Budgeted was lower, actual was higher, which is how I like to see it. So that's great. Bills, it looks like, was right on. So let's go down to bills. So my rent comes out the first of every month. I have a 1-bedroom apartment in Southern California, so the rent is fairly high. So my rent is $23.74 every month. That came out. My water, sewer, and trash came out at $54.36. I did not have a gas bill this month. Every year there is what is called a California climate credit, and we get it both on our gas bill and our electric bill, but during different times of the year. So for the gas bill, I got it, I think, in April. Let's just look back. I think April is when it hit. Okay, no, so I guess it hit in May. Yeah, so it hit in May. And so for May and June, I did not have a gas bill. And there's still a credit on there as of the end of June. So that's kind of nice. Electricity was $73.16. I have internet through AT&T, which was $90.77. So this did actually just go up in July, $5, which I need to check on, see why it went up. I think they just increased their prices. And then my phone, so this is just for my phone service, $76.63, which is also through AT&T. Then next is my storage unit. I have a storage unit that I share with my mom. She lives, I don't know, like 15 to 20 minutes away. And so we share a storage unit just because we both have small 1-bedroom apartments. And so for me, I can't put like my Christmas decor, my Christmas tree, my golf clubs, like different things like that, I can't keep in my apartment just because I just don't have space. And so I have this storage unit that I share. MVC, so this is for Marriott. So I paid $7,658 to Marriott. This is normally like the monthly amount is about $200. It's like $196 or something like that. I paid extra because I got the bonus and I just want to get rid of it. It will be done this year. Actually, it should be done within a few months, but just to get rid of it and not have to pay on it anymore. iCloud storage $299, Hulu, Disney Plus $9.99, and Peacock is $5.99. So pretty much right on par with what it was expected, just a couple dollar difference. And so then expenses, again, we'll see here expenses budget versus actual is right on target. So let's take a look. So household consumables, I budgeted to spend $40, I spent $24.99. That, I believe, it was either paper towels or toilet paper. Can't remember which, but that's what that was. Household durables, I budgeted $35. I didn't spend anything. Groceries, I budgeted $200. For groceries, I budget $50 every Friday. I spent $152.32, which I'm actually surprised I spent that much since I was gone for 2 weeks. Let's take a look and see over here, because that seems high. Okay, I bought syrup for coffee, some stuff at Wally, some garlic dip from Costco. If you guys have Costco, if they have the garlic dip, it is so good. I put on chicken. It's like so I've had it in the past with like Lebanese food. I have a friend who's from Lebanon. His wife makes this garlic dip all the time, and Costco started selling it, and it's so good. It's very garlicky, but it's great on like chicken, on pretty much anything. And I ran out of it yesterday, so I'll need to go back to Costco to get some more because it's really good. Let's see what else. Groceries. I got some egg life wraps and some ranch. I don't know how I spent so much though. Oh, okay. So I did go to Winco. I spent $95 there. So Winco is it's a grocery store. It's a little cheaper than the grocery stores near where I live. So the closest Winco is like an hour away, but it's a lot cheaper, and it was near where I was for work. And so on Friday when I left being out there for work and started coming home, I stopped there to kind of stock up on some stuff. So I spent $95 there. I'm trying to think of what I got. I got some soda. What else? I can't really remember what else I got, but whatever it was, it ended up being $95. So that's where most of it went. So I guess that makes sense. Which, that was the end of the month. So, because what was that? That was on 6/28. So most of that groceries I actually used in July. So that's fine. Okay, so dining out, I budgeted $80. I spent $50 dining out. I think this was probably when I got back from my work trip. Let's see, I went to Wingstop for $22. Went to Panda Express. Is that? And then, yeah, McDonald's. So that was on the way home as well, I think. Usually, like, when I get back from a work trip, I don't have groceries. And so I usually end up eating out that day. Like, something quick and easy, just because I don't feel like cooking. Or I don't feel like going to the grocery store and then cooking. Because before I leave, I try to clear out everything in my fridge as much as I can. And freezer. And so I usually end up then eating out that day. Coffee, I budgeted $35. I spent $25. Transportation, I budgeted $90 for transportation, which this is basically gas for my car. I spent $98, but again, that's also because I had to drive out to the desert for work and back twice, and so it's kind of taken care of by the mileage reimbursement. And then clothing, I didn't budget anything, but I spent $102.68. What did I buy for clothing? Let's see. I bought a crossbody bag from Lululemon, spelled incorrectly. I bought some cute new PJs from Costco because they're super cute. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So not too bad, but I did not budget for it, so over there. Makeup and skincare, I didn't budget anything. I didn't spend any. Hair, nails, and brows, I budgeted $100 because I needed to get a manicure and a pedicure. I didn't end up doing both of those. I spent $28. I did, let's see. I haven't gotten a pedicure yet, even still, and it's the end of July. So I need to go probably this weekend to get a pedicure and get my brows done, actually. But I think I got my nails done, but I must have, let's see, because normally it's more to get my nails done. Yeah, I only spent $28. Usually it's, I think, $48 to get my nails done. So I must have had, I don't know, some sort of $20 discount. Fun money, I budgeted $80 because I wanted to go out to Universal Studios. I did not end up going, and so I did not spend anything on fun. Gifts, I did not budget anything. I ended up spending $40. I know some of it went to my aunt for her birthday. Oh, and then the VP that I work under, his dog passed away, and so we as a team donated to purchase like these like living trees that you can get for loved ones who have passed, and so we did that, and so I sent $10 to that. Business expenses, $8.16. YNAB, so that, like I said earlier, that was the annual subscription that came out, so that was $99. I think I just forgot about it when I was doing my budgeting. Healthcare and medical, $11.38, which I just remembered I need to submit that to my FSA, so I need to do that. Stationery, $7.32, so not much there. Okay, so overall expenses, budgeted $660, spent $648. And so I also like to look at this kind of pie chart of the actual expenses. So groceries was 24%, which I feel like that is reasonable. I'd rather spend less on other stuff. Like if you're spending on groceries, I feel like that's stuff that is a necessity. So I'm fine with that. Dining out is 8%, so that's not horrible. Coffee, 4%, transportation 15%. This is high, but again, this wasn't just because of like my driving, and I got some of it back, so fine there. Clothing, I spent more on clothing than I would like, but I did get that crossbody bag that I've used a lot since then, so I really like it. So overall, not too bad. Yeah, and I still think, even though like some of these percentages or these parts of the pie look large, I think spending $650 a month on expenses isn't that bad. Like, I'm okay with that. So now going down to my sinking funds. So I did deposit $76 into my emergency fund, which I call Gringotts Vault. So the ending balance there is $5,000. Work trips, I ended up putting in $141 into my work trip sinking fund. So that's at $475. I do have a work trip coming up. Let's see. So I just got back from a work trip in July. I have another work trip in September and October and January. So those are the ones I know of right now. And I like to generally keep like $1,000 in here. And so I'm still trying to build it up to that slowly. Hopefully I don't know. Because let's see, I did use some in July. Not a lot. I know I will use some in September. I'm going to Texas in September. I think I'm going to take an extra weekend and go, I don't know, somewhere, some town in Texas. If anybody is from Texas or has been there, let me know where you think the best place to go is for like a quick, like, it'd probably be like a Friday night to Sunday evening type trip. I'm staying in like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I figure for that weekend I can go somewhere. So I was thinking maybe San Antonio. Last time I was in Texas, I went to Austin, which I loved Austin, but I want to try something else. I've also done Waco. So I was thinking San Antonio or maybe Galveston, but I think Galveston is a further drive, whereas San Antonio is not too far of a drive. So that would be easy to do from Fort Worth. So if anyone is from Texas or has a recommendation of where to go in Texas for a kind of short weekend, let me know down below. I would really appreciate it. So next here is auto maintenance. I deposited $50 into my sinking fund, so that puts it at $260. Car registration, I did not do anything, so that's $1. A Whole New World is my travel sinking fund. Let's see. So I started out the month with $28. I budgeted to add $3,600 from my bonus. I ended up actually putting in $44.39, but I also spent money from it. And this is because we booked some hotels. I have vacation coming up in end of August, and so we started booking some hotels, and so that spending came out. So ended with $35.81. Next was auto insurance, no changes there. Cash binders. So I started doing cash budgeting I think it was in April. And so the way I've tried to figure it out is to include my cash binders here as like a savings and sinking fund category. And so then this ending balance of $11.95 is split between different cash envelopes. And so, for example, things like this where maybe gifts, I spent $40, but I didn't budget anything. I may have had money in my cash envelope to cover that. I don't know if that makes sense. That's how it makes sense in my head. So I'm tracking what I'm actually spending out of these categories, but anything left over at the end of the month in the cash binders, I'm tracking here. So then going into investments, I have a Roth IRA and a traditional 401k that I deposited money into this month. So in my Roth IRA, I took $1,500 from my bonus and put that in to start out for 2024. And then my traditional 401k is the $1,555.95 that we talked about up here in the income section. So making progress there. So then going into debts, I have 3 student loans that I'm working to pay off. So I only paid the minimum payments this month. So Fed Loan 7, I paid $78.95. This This loan has an interest rate of about, I think it's 6.8%. And then I have Fed loans 10 and 11, which have an interest rate of, I believe it's 1.89%. So these have small balances and small payments. So $20.27. So that came out. And then let's see. What else here is interesting? I like to look at these. So 52% to bills, okay, and 20 to savings. So that's pretty good. I like 28% to savings a lot. Yeah, I like to see that. So I think those are the big things to look at here. We'll go up to the charts up here. So again, savings was higher on the actuals, investments was right on, and debt was right on. And there's nothing really interesting about the dates. I would say the 6/5. So this it is a sum of all transactions. So it's not necessarily like just spending. It could also include income. So I don't, oh, that must have been the day I got the bonus. That's why my bonus came in. So that makes sense. And let's see, we'll just look up here. So total income, again, $19,891. Total bills was $10,000, which most of that was at Marriott, because I was gonna say that seems high, but that's the Marriott. Total expenses, $648. Again, I think that is reasonable. I don't feel like I'm spending too much. I think that's a decent amount to spend. I'm just one person, so I don't have a ton of expenses. I used to be a big spender, and so I've really reined it in a lot, and sometimes I feel bad for spending. So I don't know. I feel like $650 is pretty low. I would like that to be higher, honestly, so I could feel like I'm kind of enjoying life more and enjoying the money more. But first, I have some other goals that I want to accomplish before I kind of make more expenses for myself. Total savings, $56.28, which is amazing. Total invested, $3,055. And again, that's my 401k and my Roth IRA. This is the first, I think this is the first year where I've put money into my Roth IRA before like the fourth quarter of the year. So it's nice to at least get that ball moving. I have not put any in since then, but at least I've got the $1,500 in, so that's a good start. And then total debt paid was $126.53. So that is it for June. So let's just go back out. Kind of an overview. So that's everything for June. I also do like to go through some of these other trackers that I have, but I'm going to do that in my Q2 update. So I will go through all these other tabs, like my goal tracker, my income tracker, my annual net worth tracker, all of that I will go through in my Q2 wrap up, which should hopefully be coming out within the next week or so. So I hope to see you there. But that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!